I stand before the great oak, the only tree that has grown tall enough to offer me shade on this scorching summer day. Everything is silent, but no, it's not the peaceful silence of the forest. It's the kind of silence that is filled with tension, with hopelessness. They had set a trap for me, a plan I had crafted for days, one that had gone perfectly, and yet something inside me told me that I had failed. The trick was simple. Steal lunch from the old fox, the one who always boasted of being smarter than everyone else. But now, here, with the bag of fruits I had stolen from his trap, I could feel that my heart wasn't beating with the same satisfaction it once did. The taste of success felt bitter. No one had seen me, no one had suspected a thing, but something inside me was churning. The wind blew, and for a moment, I wondered if I had really won. What had I really won? My name is Fox, or so they call me. In the forest, I am known as the cleverest, the one who always has a trick up his sleeve, the one who always gets away with it. No one outsmarts me. I've lived my life surrounded by lies and tricks. Why? Because since I was young, I learned that the world isn't fair. Nothing comes easy. No one gives you what you need, so it's better to take it yourself. If you're fast enough, clever enough, there's nothing you can't get. I remember the first time I took something that wasn't mine. It was prey, a hare. I saw it, innocent and unaware, running toward its burrow. I, instead of chasing it like any other predator would, made it trip over a well-placed rock. The hare fell, and I got to enjoy my reward, knowing I had played by the rules of the game. My mother always told me that life would be hard if I didn't learn to be like everyone else. "You won't always make your way in the world with just your cleverness, my son," she would say. But I never understood what she meant. To me, cleverness was everything. It was the key to getting anything. And the faster I got what I wanted, the more I convinced myself I was right. But what I didn't know, what I never imagined, was that while I was building my reputation as a clever and skillful fox, I was digging a grave for the relationships that truly mattered. Today was a perfect repeat of everything I had learned so far. Act before others do. Lie if necessary, be the first to move. And I did it. I stole the old fox's fruits. But at the end of it all, what had I achieved? What did I have? A sack full of fruits, yes, but also an empty feeling in my chest. I sat by the edge of the clearing, staring at the tracks I had left in the mud. The other animals were watching me, of course. Some were envious of my ability to get what I wanted. But what they didn't know was that I felt empty. What was the point of having everything you wanted if, in the end, you couldn't share it with anyone? I had always been so alone. I had always felt that my achievements meant nothing because there was no one to celebrate them with. In the distance, I saw a small rabbit. He was sharing some of his food with an injured squirrel. He looked so natural, so generous. I felt bad. For a moment, a feeling of shame washed over me. Why could he be so different? Why couldn't I be like that? I felt something inside me snap. I had no friends, no one to trust. And that loneliness was eating me up. The conflict grew larger when the old fox appeared. He knew someone had touched his trap, and his look of distrust made it clear. No one wanted to cross him, the cleverest of them all, but I felt trapped in a corner. "I know what you did," he said, his voice calm, chilling my blood. And there I was, staring at the fox, completely exposed. I had no excuses, no easy way out. "Why?" he asked, his voice deep and tired. "Why do this?" A lump formed in my throat. I couldn't lie to him. I had done this for myself, for the need to feel better, to prove I was smarter, faster. But as I said it, I realized how ridiculous it sounded. No one cared what I could steal from them. What I needed was to learn to trust, to be honest, to look beyond my own interests. The fox sighed, then looked toward the horizon, as if he were thinking about something only he knew. Then, with an astonishing calm, he gave me a lesson I would never forget. Cunning is important, but honesty is what truly opens doors. Because cunning can help you escape, but only honesty allows you to stay. What happened next wasn't a heroic act or a grand gesture. It was something as simple as staying there with him, for the first time, listening instead of planning my next move. The old fox hadn't punished me. He hadn't driven me out of his territory. He had taught me something far more valuable than any trap I could have come up with. In the following days, I tried to do something different. Instead of lying or hiding behind my tricks, I tried to be honest. If I saw someone in trouble, I helped. If I didn't have what I needed, I asked for help. And slowly, things started to change. The animals began to look at me differently. They no longer saw me as the clever fox who always had an excuse. They started to trust me. Now I know that cunning is not enough. You might get what you want, but in the end, you're left alone, with no one to share it with. Honesty, on the other hand, is what builds you a fuller life, a life where relationships matter more than any well-done trick. Cunning can give you quick victories, but honesty gives you something far more valuable: peace. The old fox told me once more, and now I understand what he meant. I no longer feel the need to prove myself. I don't have to prove anything anymore. I just want to be myself, the one who learns, the one who grows, and above all, the one who dares to be honest. Life is complicated, and sometimes we think that the only way forward is to deceive, lie, or manipulate situations. But as I learned, true strength comes from being honest, from opening yourself up to the world just as it is. If you've ever felt like I did, trapped in your own lies, don't be afraid to take the first step toward honesty. It's the longest path, but the only one that will truly lead you to peace. If this story has resonated with you, if you've learned something today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with those who also need to hear this message. Because honesty has a power that can transform our lives. The end.